can you believe that the WWE buried Finn Balor by having him take a pin after getting hit with a chair 27 times? Like, that's just ridiculous. How dare you bury Finn Balor?
I can't believe that. And you know what I can't believe also? SmackDown started with Becky Lynch winning on TV, and Cien almost wasn't on TV. They're burying Carmella.
They're burying everyone. They buried Asuka. They buried everyone.
They buried The Undertaker.
They buried Rusev.
Everybody they buried. They put him in a casket.
I don't want to think about the greatest Royal Rumble.
Me neither. All right, guys, we're here to discuss what we think is wrong with wrestling.
Yeah.
What's missing? What makes it not as entertaining as what it once was? My name is Kyle, and this is Kyle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start with Kyle.
What I think sucks is that there's no character anymore, and it's just like, let's do indie flippy shit because it's cool. And you know what? I don't have that big of a problem with indie flippy shit as long as it's not like Osprey Ricochet where they're just flying all over the place and it doesn't even look real. It's just stupid at that point. But like, if you keep doing high spots and you keep relying on high spots, then everything else is going to suck because you can't keep going. There's going to be a certain point where you do some high spot and you can't do anything else after that because that's the top.
I disagree. The thing that's missing from wrestling isn't the flippy dippy shit. It's just a story behind the flippy dippy shit. For the sole fact that if you look at anything outside of WWE or inside WWE with NXT and 205 Live, which has just been on this amazing revival, they're buried too.
Everyone's buried.
But you just look at this, how everybody just has this flippy dippy moveset that everybody claims is just this vanilla midget, everybody hates it thing. It's the fact that everything on the indies and in New Japan and NXT has a storyline going forward. And they have reasons to do flippy dippy shit. It's because they can, they're athletic, and they can pull it off versus this WWE formulaic wrestling that's just, all right, let's start the match. Good guy goes over for a bit. Good guy gets dumped to the outside, gets back in, suicide dive, commercial. Come back, is in a headlock. Good guy makes recovery, good guy wins. Or it's good guy comes back, bad finish, bad guy come in, bad guy cheat, bad guy win. And that's it.
I'd argue that that's just basic storytelling. That's kind of how movies go, where it's bad guy win, good guy win, but bad guy win again, but then good guy win, and this is the last one. That's generally just generic story writing, like writing school 101 kind of shit. But I think story-wise, flippy dippy shit's okay. It's just that when it's overused, it devalues it to a certain point.
No, it's just that there's no character work behind it. It's like if you look at something like The Rock and Hulk Hogan, you know who Hulk Hogan is. You know who The Rock is. And even though I love him, and I love all of his flippy dippy shit, I don't know who Seth Rollins is, to be honest. Like
He's Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, he's Seth Rollins, but what motivates him? Why does he just seem so bland?
You know what motivates him?
What?
His tiny ween.
No, listen. She's dating Sonya Deville now, so we can.
But that doesn't negate the fact that he has a small ween.
Size matters. We're getting away from Seth Rollins' wiener.
No, we're not. We're going right back to Seth's ween. That's his motivation.
No. All right.
Whereas Roman Reigns' motivation is that apparently the backstage hates him or something, even though they love him.
No, it's Roman Reigns is the epitome of exactly what I find wrong with WWE. It's just I don't care about their homegrown talent. But it's just he doesn't fit what it is. And stop doing the Cena wave. They can't see you.
No, I know they can't see me. But that Cena, I don't know. The whole Roman Reigns thing is weird. Because, I mean, he's not Cena because Cena's better on the mic. But, and it happens with most things. If it's the thing that a company wants you to look at, people are immediately going to go, I don't like that because you want me to like it. No, fuck off. Same thing happened with Cena. But I think Roman's a little worse because everyone's in the internet age and we're smarter. I did air quotations when I said smarter, but I don't know.
No, the problem is just me. I know of booking. I know internet booking. I know WWE. I know everything beyond that. I think in booking, and I think in characters and stuff now. Versus when I was a kid, when I just seen them and they were just superhuman people.
And they make my ween big.
And just the women. But no, it's
No,
just.
I love big sweaty men.
Shut up! You're not Vince. But it's just everybody's just. It's Roman lacks a specific type of character that makes him any type of entertaining. It's just.
You mean Suffering Succotash wasn't a good character?
Oh yeah.
You mean generic I'm the big dog now isn't character?
No, it's everything's so formulaic and boring now. Like Roman Lesnar could have potentially been good if they would have just pulled the trigger like 3 or 4 years ago when they would have actually done it, or at Mania this year, or at the Greatest Royal Rumble. But it's just his matches with Lesnar are so boring. There's nothing behind them besides like. Honestly, to be honest, his brawls with Lesnar on Raw are more genuinely entertaining than the matches that they have.
Yeah, and that brings me to another point. Now, like, there's in wrestling, I really like beefy dudes beating the shit out of each other. So, like, if you made Brock versus Roman at Mania like a no DQ match, my ween would love that. But it wasn't, and then Roman lost. But, like, I don't know, I just want to see them bash each other with chairs and shit. But then again, it was Brock and Dean had, like, a no DQ match, and Brock just did nothing.
Yeah, no, Lesnar doesn't want to do anything if he just decides he doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't want to show up for 60 days and break the title has to be defended every 30 days rule, it's fine because they pay him the most.
Yeah, if you get paid like $5 million a year to do nothing, would you do anything? If you like, it's not like he has to do anything.
No, not at all. But honestly, I feel like it's specific to the person because if I was paid $5 million and I was the world champ, and they guaranteed that I wouldn't lose it for 2.5 years, I'd come to every pay-per-view and just fight every other guy because I'd look back at it years from now and just think about like, oh my god, I put on a classic with Kevin Owens, or oh, I put on a classic with Goldberg of all people.
I think Brock's hit his. Oh, I just fucking nutted myself. I think Brock's kind of had that point already, and like, I don't know, if I was Brock, I'd probably stay home too. But
no, but it's upsetting because Lesnar, genuinely, when he wants to put on a good match, and he
AJ.
No, not just AJ. CM Punk, his 2013 SummerSlam match is probably his like my favorite of his period. It's just he's such a weird. It's such a weird thing that he's the Universal Championship has had the weirdest run in the history of a championship I think ever.
Either that or the light heavyweight championship.
Not even no.
They're both ugly red belts too.
Oh. Or the DDT.
Oh, yeah.
The trash can and Jack the Jobber.
The trash can title, apparently. Oh, no, the indie fans are going to get mad at me because I said that a belt that's traded around like a hooker at a truck stop has no meaning. Oof.
Oof.
No, I'd be interested to see because Brock's been talking about, I'm going to take the Universal Championship to UFC and fight Daniel Cormier. I think it's Cormier.
Yeah.
It's something like that. With the Universal title representing WWE, and I'm like, just make a new Raw title then. Just give Brock the Universal title. Let him ride off into the sunset with it. Like, people didn't like it when it came out. They thought it was ugly, which it is, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, just give it to Brock, let him ride off into the sunset with it. Have him have a 10-year streak with it. I don't give a shit.
You'll actually beat Bruno Sammartino?
Yeah, fuck it, who cares? And
it's not the same championships.
Yeah, it's not the same championships, so who cares? But no, just fucking make a new belt. That one fans won't hate, because fans already hate the Universal title.
No, here's my thing. Is I just hate that all the independent companies are doing better stories and have better wrestling and just have better everything and genuine entertainment going forward than... Honestly, in WWE right now, the only things I genuinely enjoy are the tag team divisions when they actually let them do stuff.
B-team.
And the undercard. Like, that's all I legitimately care about. Because a majority of the upper card is just boring to me. It's just like we got Finn Balor. I mean, he's fun in the ring, but he just comes out and smiles.
And honestly, I know people have joked about it, but just give Finn the full gay gimmick.
No.
Just have him come out and keep going. I like that butt.
Oh, you don't understand. I didn't watch a majority of his run, but I've heard people speak on it. It's just that Finn, when he was the leader of the Bullet Club, was just such a dick. And he can fit it so well. Same thing with Gallows and Anderson. Anderson could have been his own thing. He could have legitimately been a single star. But
then they could have brought Festus back.
No, we're not bringing Festus back.
What's Jesse doing now? I remember him, like, he was a rapper, apparently, but, like, a fake rapper. And then, like, he disappeared. He got fired.
No, but it just becomes so vanilla. It's just like, I used to look forward to NXT arrivals coming to the main roster, and now it's just like, if anything, I'd prefer a lot of people just go back to NXT.
I can definitely agree with that.
Like, can you imagine if a couple
Mike Kanellis?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Can you imagine a couple of the Can you imagine the Usos at a takeover? Can you imagine Mike Kanellis coming out with Maria Kanellis and the entire arena singing their song?
Well, not just that. Mike Kanellis coming out with Undisputed Era. Because I know him and Cole. I'm not a big indie person, but I kind of know, like, some factions. I know him and Cole were a group at some point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When Adam Cole and Roddy Strong and Bobby Fish and everybody else comes up from NXT in the Undisputed Era, they're just going to be this just whatever faction.
I don't know about that. I think looking at a lot of the NXT I shouldn't say a lot, but looking at some of the big ones, like Authors of Pain, like Revival, and like Gable and Jordan? Jason Jordan, yeah. American Alpha, and then Finn Balor. Well, Finn was out with injury, so he would have went somewhere, but buckle bomb. Revival was the same way. They both were, like, roundabout injuries, where they both got injured off, like, on and off. The Authors of Pain had that visa problem for a while, and they're gonna get a tag title at some point soon.
Mm-hmm. No, but all right. So here's where I'm gonna counter you with this is that there's 3 hours of Raw.
There are 3 hours of Raw.
There's 2 hours of SmackDown.
There are 2 hours of SmackDown.
There's an hour of NXT. There's going to eventually be an hour of NXT UK.
Yes.
There's going to be, I think it's 30 minutes or an hour of 205 Live.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. In addition to pay-per-views, pre-shows, and every other butt-fuck thing.
And then the 20-year women's show that they're going to put on.
Yeah. So here's my problem, is that I'm not a huge New Japan mark. I don't watch much of the shows.
No, I can't. It's too late.
Every single person over there, whether they're new, old, in a faction, or whatever they are, they have their own character. They have every single TV appearance and pay-per-view they're on. It means something. You know what I mean? It's not them just coming out running the ropes. It's not them just coming out just like, oh, I'm doing a wrestling match today. You know what I mean? It's they come out, they mean something. And when you get a first-time matchup for the first time between Guy A and Guy B, it's exciting. It's, like, genuinely exciting. Now, like, do you remember that AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan happened?
Yes.
Yeah, it was just it's a throwaway SmackDown main event that was all right. The problem with WWE is there's too much programming for their own good.
I think if they dropped Raw, I don't know, because Raw has the bigger roster, but I think if they worked it better, it'd be a little bit better. How do I phrase that right? If they change up what happens, I think it'd be a little better.
No, honestly, here's what you do. You get it to a point where you understand where people are on the card. You understand that when Elias finally does end up beating someone like Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns
Brock Lesnar
or Dean Ambrose,
Brock Lesnar,
he moves up the card. You know what I mean? It's like an actual thing versus, oh, he beat John Cena. Oh, next week he's losing to Jason Jordan. You know what I mean? It's just, there's 50-50 booking beyond belief.
Jason Jordan was a weird one, though, because, I mean, John Cena he's a top guy, but, I mean, technically he's pretty much in the mid-card now. But not that he's been doing a lot. He's been off, I don't know, filming, not having a relationship with Nikki Bella, but secretly having a relationship with Nikki Bella. One of those two. And then Jason Jordan seemed like he was going to get at least a mid-card push until he broke his freaking neck.
Just like Daddy.
Just like Daddy.
But, no, it's just, I don't care. I mean, I started to like Jason Jordan at the end, but remember, he was supposed to be a face, but everybody booed him. And this might go back to, I feel like the 50% of the problem with WWE is the booking, and then the other 50% is fans.
You know what? I just came up with a great angle, no pun intended, for Jason Jordan.
What's that?
Him versus Angle, because he stumbles upon a clip of Angle saying, "I'm not too fond of the black people." So then Jason Jordan beats his ass, and then you can have them fight at WrestleMania, and it will probably draw like 3 cents. Well, I shouldn't say that because Kurt Angle's in the match, but
yeah, no, it's WWE lacks character. It lacks its own identity, and I feel the biggest problem was, and I'm not gonna say all of it was good.
I like that, but
the Attitude Era had competition with WCW and ECW at the time, so it was forced to stay on its toes in terms of main event, and that's what actually mattered. Not everything from the Attitude Era was great.
No, God, no.
No,
oh, God, no.
Not at all. But it was forced to stay on its toes because they couldn't just buy out their competition at the time because they had genuine competition until they sent Nash over there.
I don't know. I can't speak ill of Nash,
and then
because he'll beat me up.
And then the 25 times the WCW championship changed hand in 2000.
Yes.
And David Arquette was there, and
David Arquette needs to win another title. Hot take.
And Vince Russo won the world title at one point. And
honestly, though, as much as it allegedly devalues the belt, if I was in Vince Russo's position, you better believe that fucking title is going around my waist, just so I can do that.
I don't know. It's just it was going downhill anyways. You could.
Well, yeah, it was a shit show by then.
No, it's just WWE just lacks this certain, like, I have to watch Monday Night Raw every week. It's just, if I could just tune into just the pay-per-views and occasionally just get a recommendation for one Raw match.
Just watch the Hulu version. It cuts down like an hour.
That too. But no, it's just I mean, they had, and it's not like they don't have the potential, because they have the most stacked roster in the history of WWE history. Period.
For sure.
I will fight anybody that says the Attitude Era had better wrestlers than all the people now. Everybody besides like Titus O'Neil and Dana Brooke and actually all of Titus Worldwide.
I have a slight counterpoint, but it's not like a major one. It's that while the Attitude Era maybe didn't have better wrestlers, it had better characters.
Oh, for sure. No, I will wholeheartedly agree with that. They could combine character work with wrestling seamlessly.
Like the fucking Kane. Brood. The Brood.
The Brood. Kane. Jesus Christ, Kane used to be a murdering machine. And even when he did spin-a-roonies and stuff, he'd come out and destroy them.
Excuse me, it was the Kane-a-rooney?
Oh my god, okay. And shut up, you Canaanite. But,
Canaanite sounds like some weird fetish.
All right, listen. Everything's not about sex with your ween.
My ween. What was I thinking? Oh, I remember what I was thinking about. Competition, and like, I don't think there could ever be a company like WCW, because
New Japan will be the closest.
New Japan will be the closest, but from what I remember, it was like the reported numbers for New Japan World was only 100,000, which is still a lot, but I'd like to see that compare. The network is at like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, here's
the thing. I would say that over the course of 2020 to 2030, there's going to be this resurgence in wrestling. There's going to be this, like, I feel like the people who watch the Attitude Era are going to try to come back.
I think it's about time for another boom period.
But the problem is I want to say that WWE will get competition from what I like to call the super indies, which is going to be like a combination of like Ring of Honor, Impact, and New Japan.
Impact won't.
I still think they're going to be around.
I think they'll be around, but I don't think they're going to do anything, because
also AAA and CMLL.
Yeah, but what Lucha doesn't always break in. Like,
I mean, yeah,
Lucha Underground does good. It just doesn't do.
If all four or five major super independent companies can get together and offer one service where you can watch all the integrated things where it's kind of like a SmackDown and Raw of each other. Or
That's what WWE is doing.
I know, but it'll be good.
Well, I know, but they're having more indie content at some point. So
but the thing is just I feel like 2020 to 2030 will be this rise of super indies. But the problem is WWE is monopolizing the market. They keep buying out every potential person that would be the face of that.
Now I think that could be an issue, but with the way they seem to be buying out things, it's mostly they're going to NXT. And I think they're a lot safer in NXT until I don't want to be one of those people that like Vince needs to die because then it will fix everything. But once Triple H is the head of everything, sure CM Punk won't come back, but who cares? I'm gonna get hate comments for that one, but I think they'll be better off with Triple H because NXT does well and people seem to really love NXT. And to an extent, people like WWE. I mean, they still sell fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much as they used to, but they still sell fairly well. They sell more than most indie places. I would hope. Unless it was when Jinder was champ. Which I didn't mind, but I think it went on a little too long. I think you could have gave Jinder his couple-month-long title reign and ended it at that.
Yeah, he should have dropped it to Shinsuke at SummerSlam.
Yes, he should have.
And then, if anything, you should have had Styles beat Nakamura at around the time Jinder.
Oh, God.
What?
Daniel Bryan. Oh, no, Daniel Bryan wasn't back for the Rumble. Never mind.
No, Daniel Bryan could have potentially... We could have had... I wouldn't say Roman win the Rumble, but we could have had...
Roman in the Rumble.
No, we could have just shifted around the main event scene a little bit. I feel like...
Yeah, I mean AJ win the Rumble or something. I don't know, like getting Shinsuke versus whoever.
Yeah, honestly,
have Andrade win the Rumble.
Yeah, no, have Nakamura win the WWE Championship around the time that around SummerSlam. Have him defend against some top talent on SmackDown.
Joe wasn't on SmackDown at the time. I'm trying to think who was on SmackDown at the time.
It was Orton, Rude.
Rude would have been a decent 1 month feud, I think.
Yeah, because he would have rectified losing the NXT title to him. So, yeah. Then would have had Nakamura. See, it's so sad that I can book a better story, and I don't know that much. You know.
No.
I couldn't book week to week, but if I were given time, I probably could.
Here's why I think the booking isn't necessarily amazing in WWE. Is because they have writers and not bookers. And not everyone there is there because of wrestling. I know guys like Freddie Prinze Jr. who used to be there, wonderful man, who was responsible for Jeff Hardy's title reign, WWE title reign. People that are passionate about wrestling, I think they should be in the booker position more than people that are just going there for writing credits. Because that's kind of what I've seen. I don't want to put all the blame on Vince because I feel like there is some blame to put on him because he is the final say. But you also have to. I think we need to realize that there's writers in there that aren't necessarily passionate about wrestling. So you're gonna get a lesser product because of that.
Yeah, no, and then you look at something like what Triple H would produce versus something that like Paul Heyman would produce, because did you know Paul Heyman was behind the entire Bobby versus Roman feud?
And that makes sense. Yeah. Or versus someone like Road Dogg would produce cough cough fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean it's sad because he's actually a wrestler. And he knows
I know, stuff, it's just I don't know.
But
you know who else was a wrestler? Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, Jeff Jarrett was a wrestler. Yeah.
I don't have anything. I wish Dixie Carter was a wrestler because then I could have took a shot at Dixie Carter, but.
No, it's just
Ethan Carter was a wrestler, and they're related. But fuck.
But they are, but they aren't. But no, the thing is, it's just WWE just lacks this I need to tune in thing now. It's just even when in the Attitude Era when there were title changes every week and there were WCW titles on SmackDown and Raw.
That's why we need the hardcore title.
No.
I want a hardcore title. I really do. I want something with a 20... Or TV titles. I've seen multiple people say, bring in TV titles. I'm like, yeah, just do that.
Well, No, I don't want to say WWE's bloated with the titles too, but like it's it's understandable where they're at.
With the amount of people, I think they could use another title on each brand.
Possibly.
Because right now, until Brock drops the Universal title, Raw has one main title.
Yeah. Yeah, not everybody. It's just a bunch of boring singles feuds. It's just
there's no stakes, and title bloating is a thing. It's just I don't think we could be at that point yet because the roster is so stacked and there's so many people. Fuck, give Mike Bennett, but Mike Kanellis in WWE, give him a fucking title reign of like a TV title. You know, give him something to do while Maria's gone, or Maria might be coming back soon, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. No, it should. I don't know. Like you look at. I don't mean to bring it up because I'm a smark, but New Japan, everything.
New Japan.
It's booked so well over there.
They also have like one show a month until a tournament happens.
No, they have like one show every 2 weeks or something like that.
Okay, 2 shows a month.
Well, still, but all their tag matches make sense. Because everybody's in a faction over there, and when they bring in new guys, either they're just single stars for a bit until they join a faction. It's just like Zack Sabre Jr. joined, I think it was Suzuki Gun or something like that.
Some Japanese thing.
Yeah, like Rey Mysterio, he's in New Japan now. Apparently
for like 5 months.
Yeah, until
All In, I think.
Yeah, until he joins WWE for that reported like 2 years that he signed a contract for. But like 6 months from now, right? I'm going to look on SmackDown or Raw, wherever Rey Mysterio is, and just be like, oh, Rey Mysterio's back. But that's cool, I guess.
What if he lumps in with Andrade?
Forms LWO?
Yes, bring back
Sin Cara's
super crazy and Psychosis. And have them all ride out on lawnmowers.
Oh, no, here's what you do. WrestleMania next year, it's going to be Rey Mysterio and Andrade with, like, either Sin Cara or Kalisto or whatever. Versus the new debuting LAX.
No. Keep Conan away. Oh, no, Conan's going to yell at me, too.
No, I was talking about Hernandez, dude. He is a beast. But
I've heard things about Conan from wrestlers, so...
But no, it's... I don't know. WWE is just at this weird drought that, like, I just don't care. New Japan just does this thing where, like, everything they do is... It's wrestling and entertainment are at the exact same level. And because the wrestling's so high, the entertainment's so high. Because you have people like...
Shibata busting his head open.
Yeah.
he died. Shout out to Austin.
No, you just have all these interesting characters. They don't play just, oh, I'm a wrestler and I'm coming out to wrestle for the title.
Derp.
Yeah, derp. And it's just, they have a decent amount of championships, all of them. Literally any New Japan championship can main event a pay-per-view with no problem. No one would question it. And that just makes, like...
I think all but the U.S. title in WWE are like the tag... Well, the tag titles maybe. But, like, the U.S. title probably couldn't unless you get some really big... If Cena had it, or, like, Orton, I think it could, but...
No. You can't even have the WWE Championship, the main championship of the company, main event a pay-per-view anymore.
Well, technically it's the side championship, but yeah.
No, it's the
second main.
It's basically a mid-card championship at this point, because they're just like, oh...
Well, yeah, because it's competing against the IC title, and that's a mid-card...
Yeah, no, this is... it's like... It's like CM Punk's title reign all over again. It's the fact that he held the title for 343 days, but it didn't main event as many pay-per-views as you think it would.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I don't know. It's tough because that whole thing with Extreme Rules, when a lot of people were saying, oh, we don't want Brock, implying Brock is on a pay-per-view, Roman and Bobby to main event, but yet they hijack Seth and Dolph when it does main event. And regardless of how good the match actually was, I thought it was fine. Just I kind of just wanted it to end, but that was just how I was feeling during the night. The fans hijacked it immediately. And it's like, I can understand, we paid our ticket. we should be able to do this. But there's a certain point.
No, not at all. Listen, you pay for your ticket. You're there to watch wrestling. You're there to enjoy the wrestling. You're not there to just be a jackass. If you are one of the people listening to this and you are one of the people that participates in those chants, you're not cool. You are ruining the product. We can't enjoy it when you hear 30 countdowns of 10 to 1.
Not only that, any of the chants. Jericho did this one thing. It's semi-related, but not really. Talking about how people do chants at the Hall of Fame, and it is one of my favorite wrestler shoots because Jericho goes off on everyone that's ever chanted at the Hall of Fame. And it's fucking hilarious.
No, because it's about a show of respect.
Exactly.
It's not about you. Everything's not about you, which is hypocritical because I'm talking about what.
Yeah, I know.
But
to invoke the holy New Japan, do you see New Japan fans doing stupid ass fucking chants the entire time?
No, not at all. They gasp.
Yeah.
They occasionally cheer when their favorite person comes out.
Yeah.
And remind you, very typically. 90% of the time, the people they cheer for are faces, people that are actually supposed to be faces.
Yeah.
You're not just booing because it's Roman Reigns.
We're not booing because we don't want him.
Yeah.
And then we cheer heels like Kevin Owens and The Miz.
If you truly want Roman Reigns to disappear, don't boo.
Do nothing.
Be absolutely silent.
Give him that X-Pac. What is that called? X-Pac pop? Or the Rob Conway pop.
Yeah, there you go. When Roman comes out, say absolutely nothing. Don't cheer, don't boo. And then people will tell if their WWE is just making up for it and just editing in the cheers again, like they always do.
Whereas booing, Roman said it, and I know people get in a tizzy online about it. But Roman's even said, I get a reaction, so what's the point? I get a reaction. And he gets a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out there, boos immediately, to the point where I can't hear without hearing boos.
Yeah, No, and that leads back to Roman Reigns again. It's just the problem with Reigns, and I'll say this to anybody I come across.
Suffering succotash.
Not that. But it's that every single face of the WWE has had two phases in their career. You've had Stunning Steve Austin, and you've had Stone Cold. You've had Thugonomics John Cena.
John Cena. I love John Cena. It's his Mexican, or it's his second Mexican cousin. Right after Juan. Juan.
I thought it was Asian. It sounds more Asian.
John does sound Asian.
But no, and then you have.
It is Asian. What am I talking about?
Then you would just have John Cena. John Cena. He comes out. He's the face of the company. But he has his own swagger to him. You know what I mean?
And then he buries Wade Barrett in the Nexus.
Yeah, he buries everybody because we're in the internet phase, and if somebody loses, regardless of anything, they're buried.
Yes.
And that's another thing. Stop with the online bullshit, guys. Literally, the worst thing in the world is that I can't go on to any WWE thing, period, without hearing, push this person or stop burying this person.
Welcome to the Star Wars fan base, my friend. Or welcome to any fan base.
Honestly. No, WWE is its own special class of special. Honestly, you guys should be getting the fucking Warrior Awards for your fucking comments, dude.
Oh, shit. Damn. Oh, that's disrespectful to the Warrior Award. We don't, there's a certain level of idiot we just can't give it to.
Yeah.
Oof.
Honestly,
I think that was harsh. Damn.
Honestly, you guys have a better chance of getting a match at WrestleMania than John Cena.
Oh.
But no, no, the problem with fucking people who just are like, oh, somebody lost a match on Raw, they're buried. It's like, what do you expect them to do? You want Balor, you want Corbin, you want everybody on Raw to have a match, but you don't want anybody to lose.
Yeah.
And then you complain if there's a shitty finish that actually protects the person. So you double cross every possible ending, but then you complain that, oh, this isn't happening, or oh, this person isn't getting pushed. Everybody can't be pushed at once.
No, that would be chaos. And not New Japan chaos, but actual chaos.
No, everybody in New Japan gets pushed at the same time. But the thing is...
No, I mean the faction chaos.
Oh, you're talking... Okay.
Yeah. No, to that point, the whole fans being idiots. I saw people on Instagram because,
Instagram's the worst of everything.
Yes.
YouTube, usually I see people, talking in character, John Cena's my favorite.
Yeah.
YouTube's fine. Honestly, of everything, I think Instagram is the worst.
Yeah. I saw some people after Extreme Rules saying, this is the worst pay-per-view ever. And
Did you not see Backlash?
Did you not see, I really don't think that was the worst pay-per-view ever. Like, Bash at the Beach 2000, motherfuckers.
Oh, you're talking ever?
Ever. They said worst pay-per-view they've ever seen.
Oh my
Not even this
God.
year they've ever seen. I'm like, what?
Have you seen half of the WrestleManias before 10?
Anything. It's like, and I know some people are saying this because Roman lost, because it's like, not to be stereotypical, but I feel like Roman's big in the Indian markets because I see a lot of Indian people praise Roman all the time.
Yeah,
And
it's because they still think in character, and I mean, as much as I like to knock them for liking Roman, just because I dislike Roman as a character, not as a person, because he's a fantastic person.
Oh, he's wonderful.
But God, do I just hate people?
That reminds me of another thing, and it happens in every medium, but it seems like we can't separate character from person. Like, people will, like, insult Roman Reigns, and I know it's not, they'd be like, oh, kill yourself, Roman Reigns, and I'm like, he's a person. Like, regardless of what you feel about his wrestling, if you don't like him, that's fine. Not everyone's gonna like everyone, but to be that dickish, like, he's a person, he seems like a cool dad. You know, he's got a family.
No, and apparently he's taken over the role The Undertaker kind of had backstage. In terms of the new era of people, he's like a backstage leader.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking loves him. Everybody in the back wants him to be pushed.
Yeah.
Just as much as Vince. It's just the WWE fans that don't want him. And the reason, because I'm kind of vouching for him right here, the reason I don't like him is because of the booking and how his character actually is.
Yeah.
I love his wrestling. I don't love his promo work.
Promo work
Sometimes it works. Especially when he is actually himself.
Yeah.
Like when he made fun of the Revival. My our teamwork, our continuity. That was hilarious.
It was really good.
But when they do the fucking
Suffer and Succotash.
Suffer and Succotash, and if you really want to watch a bad promo, go watch Roman Reigns and the Giant Beanstalk with the Big Show. That was
I haven't seen that, but
that was tier S WWE promo.
Tier double S.
Double S. That was
That's some Meta Knight shit.
That was fucking 20XX, dude. It was ridiculously WWE. But
I want that to be a podcast, but not ours because, well, maybe. I don't know.
What?
Ridiculously WWE.
Maybe we can name it that.
Maybe.
But the problem is just like it's the booking. It's literally the booking. And it sucks
because... The writing at this point.
The writing, too.
Well, no, I mean, the writing is the booking at this point.
No, the problem is, like, there's three things wrong. It's the fans, it's the booking, and the fact that I know WWE's fake. And we're in a different new age where everybody knows what's happening. Regardless of how much WWE tries to stop its leaks and stuff with the betting odds and all that stuff. Someone's in there, someone's leaking all the results. And hell, if we didn't know what was happening anymore, I feel like that would help a lot because we don't know what's happening in New Japan. No one ever leaks stuff for that.
I've told you about this, but I'd like to tell the all three of our fans that I had a plan to fuck everyone if I ever get into WWE Creative, to fuck every news person out of a scoop. Send out like these little. If you watch Game of Thrones at all, there's an episode where Tyrion like gives a message to different messages to different people to see which one's leaking his information back. And I'm like, I would do that immediately. Give out like, oh, Roman Reigns is gonna hold the title for 10 years, and if Dave Meltzer reports the Roman Reigns is gonna hold the title for 10 years, fire the fucker that told him that, or that you told that Roman Reigns is gonna hold the title for 10 years.
Yeah, but the only potential problem with that is everybody could be on it.
That's the thing, though. You got to get individual. You can't do it in a group. You have to do it one by one. So I take you aside and go, hey, I was talking to Vince, and we're going to do this, this, this. So then if this gets reported to insert news journalist, fuck that news journalist out and cut that person out.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. I feel like it's at a point where it's probably just everybody.
I feel like there's
and
a good
everybody
point.
could just report back to, like, they could just wait on actually reporting it. That's why it gets so close to the pay-per-view in terms of like what's actually happening.
I think another problem with that, going back to how it's writers and not people and not wrestling fans typically, is that they're going to care a little less and they're going to be okay with it getting out. So they're probably more willing to talk to people like Dave Meltzer and other. I'm picking on Dave Meltzer just because he's the biggest name, but other people around there.
No, I see what you're saying. Oh, by the way, stop sucking Meltzer's dick.
Oh God,
Just
yes,
because
please.
just because he rates every single New Japan match a fucking 5-star, and recently he found out NXT was a thing, doesn't mean he can. You have to go by his word. Enjoy the matches you want. Remember that he didn't rate The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, either of them 5 stars. So
Because he's Master Ween.
no, I don't. I mean, I trust his opinion in some things because he's been in the wrestling business so long.
Well, he's following the wrestling business for
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider him in the business, but
Yeah, he follows the business for so long. He's the only person of his class that I'd.
is it bad to say I trust his opinion less than Vince Russo?
Well, you're just a mark for Vince Russo.
I kind of am, but I
Don't deny it. You
I know I
you
can't.
are. You know
I
you are.
enjoy Vince Russo to a point. I don't like his booking necessarily, but I think he's fucking hilarious.
No. So, hopes for the future. Honestly, first and only thing right now I hope is that they just take the title off of Brock.
It's coming.
I wasn't a fan of Lesnar winning the title in the first place. The match with Goldberg was fine. It is what it is.
It was enjoyable for what it was.
Yeah, they were able to book around Kevin Owens not being in the Universal Championship match by beating Jericho for the U.S. title. I was fine with that.
Nobody's gotten their rematch yet.
No, there's not been a rematch, even though it doesn't make sense to me. It's like Balor has to keep competing in these opportunities for a rematch, even though he's owed a rematch.
I wonder if rematch clauses expire.
I don't know if they would. Because I feel like if the Goldberg ever comes back, he's going to be like, hey, yeah, even if it's like 3 years from now, if that motherfucker's still somehow active, he's just going to be like, hey, I want my Universal title rematch.
I would love to see that. I want him to face, like, what if, like, Adam Cole's the Universal Champion at that point? Which I could totally see, because I feel like the Undisputed Era is one of those groups where they'll come up to Maine, and Triple H will be like, don't touch them. I will eat your ass if you touch them. They're mine.
Well, he wanted that with Balor and Samoa Joe. And I mean, Samoa Joe's been booking decent enough.
Joe's been fine. He just hasn't won a title. Which he would. I don't know. I kind of want him to take the title off AJ.
I don't know what they're doing with AJ. I'm
Who
glad.
knows?
I'm glad that they're actually doing a long title reign with him because first of all, he deserves it.
Oh, for sure.
But the second thing is they need to make it more interesting. Like,
yeah,
like-
the 4 Nakamura matches. As much as I enjoyed Nakamura, it's like 4 matches against him is kind of like.
super over. No, it's been
Yeah.
5 now because they had that.
Oh
match
yeah,
on SmackDown.
it's like it's a little much. Like it's fine to do 2 or 3, but I think like the 4 is kind of the cutoff.
No, but here's the thing: it's WWE doesn't know how to just stop feuds. They just kind of
Poof.
last as long as Ziggler and Corbin does.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Or they just don't know how to end it whatsoever. It's just like you have a good 30-minute match with these people, and you just end it. You just have them come out the next night. It's just like, hey,
Why?
Alright. What?
Why'd you remind me of Ziggler Corbin?
Because you
Oh.
gotta remember that. You gotta remember how long like Sheamus Christian lasted, or like
Was it Ziggler Nakamura?
yeah, Ziggler Nakamura. Like how long that there's Nakamura and Jinder. Like how long those. I mean, that was only
That
3
was-
months, but it felt like forever.
Yeah, it did.
But well, the problem is they just can't finish a storyline either. They just can't have like
I feel like without factions, it's kind of weird. Like
no. It's because here's how it happens. So you have a guy who deserves to be WWE champion, challenge for the title.
so half the roster.
Yeah. So you have like half the roster. No, but there's a certain threshold. There's like
The-
there's like the Ortons, the Nakamura's,
Quarter of the roster.
the Corbins or people like that who challenge for the title and they deserve to be champion. Maybe they'll win it, maybe they'll not. But they challenge for it like 5 or 6 times on consecutive pay-per-views, but they all have shitty finishes. Or you have people who super deserve to be champion, like just the workhorses who never get opportunities, like Rusev and Big E and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You just have not Kevin Owens because his feuds last long forever too.
Oh,
But
Sami Zayn.
no, but you have them challenge for the titles, and this is the only time like I ever see them just lose clean, despite the fact that I believe that they deserve to be in the championship contention longer. And they never usually look strong in defeat either. Like, how'd Rusev lose to get cost by Aiden? Was it? I feel like that.
I honestly I checked out during that match. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was probably a little Aiden miscommunication or whatever.
I think so.
But it's just they don't know how to properly finish things anymore.
I'm surprised more people don't do the whole Eddie Guerrero finish. Like Sasha's done it a couple times where you like pretend to get hit with an item and toss it at someone.
Like, Jericho's done it once.
Jericho's done it, but like I feel like more people would use it, even though it would get overused to a point. I feel like there should
like
be
suicide dives.
Yeah. Not to go back to New Japan, but like talking about title feuds, Omega Okada happened 3-4 times?
Yeah, but it happened over the course of like a year and a half.
Exactly. It happened over a good span of time, and it wasn't just like I feel like.
And I haven't watched all their matches. I've watched the first one and the fourth one.
I think I saw 2 and 4.
Okay, so I've watched 1 and 4. You've watched 2 and 4. Even though it's the same arena,
Yeah.
it's the same two men, and it's the same moves. I know the difference between both matches I watched.
Yeah.
So, if you were to ask me, hey, besides the no disqualification, Extreme Rules, whatever match Nakamura and Styles had, hey, tell me which
The no ween match.
Yeah, the no ween match. Tell me which Nakamura and Styles match took place on this pay-per-view.
Was Greatest Royal Rumble the one where they both kicked each other in the dick?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
I remember by the
so.
dick finish.
Actually, that might have been Double Count Out. I think that was Backlash that they did the double nut.
Oh, you know what? I think it was Backlash.
So here's the thing, Omega Okada, right? And I'm not just saying it because it's the best example. You know the difference between the matches. Like my favorite one was New Day and Usos. That feud could literally happen for a year, and I would not care. But the problem is they have a match every. I think it was in a span from August to November. They had 5 or 6 tag matches, including a Hell in a Cell match, and there were like 2 or 3 title changes between the two. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And not only that, whenever there's especially for the women's division and the tag division, if you're not in the title contention, you're not on TV, and you don't matter at the time until WWE deems it's time for you to actually do something. You know what I mean? It's like when the New Day and the Usos were fighting, with the exception of like super early 2016 SmackDown and Raw, which that was the best time in WWE in the past few years, was the early.
Oh God, yeah.
I'd say from the draft to about the Superstar shakeup was when WWE really mattered to me, and a little fodder towards Mania, but it was
the
still
shakeup kind of fucked a lot of things.
Yeah, because Raw rated.
SmackDown got it. Was that when Bray had his title reign? Or
So Bray had his title reign then.
Before or after?
Before Mania, because he lost it to Orton.
Oh yeah, he did lose.
Remember the giant
the
sperm
snake, yeah,
and then
weird
House of Horrors, and then Jinder won the title. That's how. Okay, so even though Styles Ambrose was a little bit boring to me.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It was boring because they didn't have any other any interesting thing going on besides it was a couple matches or whatever.
I'm gonna say something edgy.
What's that?
I kind of don't care about Dean Ambrose anymore. Not that he hasn't been on, not because he hasn't been on TV, but I just.
No, I hate this wacky Dean Ambrose. I hate this lunatic.
Heel Dean Ambrose would fix a lot of things. I feel like for me.
I don't know. I don't want to necessarily say heel turns because it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
I feel like
Sami Zayn.
I feel like Sami Zayn was fucking hilarious, but I feel like Dino could pull it off. Like he's got that look of like I could be a badass motherfucker. I mean he is one, but
no. The problem is that it's just not his time. He's not. The reason I felt like Dean worked in 2014, 2015 when he was feuding with the Authority and stuff like that was because he had this huge thing that he could have brawls with. He could have this, he could be wacky, but it was like a badass wacky.
And he called Stephanie McMahon a hoe.
Yeah, that works. But now that there's not any type of like giant faction or overlooting thing besides, because every time they do a fucking faction that lasts longer than 2 weeks, it's always like Kane and Big Show being like the fodder, and then they have like two small guys like J&J Security being the fodder.
Now I have a question. Let's build some factions.
Let's build some factions.
Okay. I'm gonna start one off with the Miz.
Miz, go ahead.
Oh, you know what? I just forgot Big Cass isn't there anymore. I did want to see Big Cass and the Miz, but just going by SmackDown, who could the Miz be with? You know what? Miz, Joe. I'm redoing Four Horsemen, but new. Brian's too babyface to do.
See, but I feel like that would be an actual like genuine shock.
It would be Oh, you know what? Fuck it, Brian. Joe, Brian. Oh, you know what? Who could they bring up from NXT to do that? Ciampa? No, Ciampa's gonna be. I don't know. Could you imagine Ciampa? Ciampa and the Miz would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. No. I feel like Ciampa, Gargano, that era of NXT is still happening, so I'd prefer them to stay there.
I think Ciampa's gonna be there for a while because he's probably gonna win the title unless Gargano fucks him out of it.
He's probably gonna fuck him out of it,
probably.
Unless it becomes a triple threat, which I would love to see.
Who else could go in that spot? One more person. I would say Nakamura, but I feel like he could be in another thing.
See, what really would have helped this year is if they would have done a SmackDown and a Raw Money in the Bank for each brand.
Yeah, I really wish they would have did that. I really do.
Because here's what I see happening. Here's how I would have booked that if that were to happen, right?
I think we're going to have very similar booking.
No, not at all.
Really?
Not at all. So we have Styles. All right, here's how I do this. We have Styles versus like Joe at SummerSlam. We have the Club, actually a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have Joe by himself. Every single week he comes out and he chokes out like Carl Anderson or Luke Gallows or somebody. Comes out. Styles versus Joe. Puts on a like 25-minute classic. The Club is not involved because they're faces. Styles hits a Styles Clash. He wins. He's celebrating. No. He was signaling Daniel Bryan, but
yes.
No. So, Styles is celebrating out of nowhere. Awesome.
Honestly, Miz.
And here's what happens.
Oh.
He stands on stage. He's not moving. He's looking at Styles.
Because he's dead.
And out of nowhere, Joe runs up and he puts Styles in the Coquina Clutch. The Club are not helping him.
What? No way.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
The Club... Actually, you know what? I changed it a little bit. The Club pulled Joe off, but they don't attack him. They don't attack him whatsoever. Styles slowly gets up, and he's looking at the Club confused as to why they're not attacking Joe. Magic Killer on Styles. And Miz comes out. Miz comes down to the ring, and he catches in. Then we have a little bit of... We have a setup of, like, Styles got turned on by the Club. Got Miz and Joe in a faction together, which would be amazing because it's a brute and it's a big boy. In addition to that, later down the line, it's revealed as to why the Club turned on him, and it's because of Balor.
Oh.
And that could either be a cross-brand thing, where it turns out that Balor was behind it, and they set up something for Survivor Series where...
It was me, AJ. It was me all along.
Similar to how...
Wait a minute. Did you just realize what you did?
What?
If it's done by Balor, the gay community finally gets their revenge.
Oh my god, fuck you!
The gay community.
And then we set up an actual Balor versus Styles match that makes sense. And then in addition to that, offsetting that, we get a short Daniel versus Joe feud, which leads to Daniel versus Miz at Mania. And then we get Styles versus Balor with actual implications. Shut up.
I love that. I love that Dave Meltzer was also part of the gay community thing.
Okay. But, yeah, no, then that sets up that. U.S. title-wise, I just feel like...
Give it to Kurt Angle.
No,
Who's the most American on the roster?
Jack Swagger's not anymore. He's
Oh, he was the
Jake.
all-American American. He wasn't the most American American. Give it to Kalisto.
Again.
Yes. No, honestly, who could take it? I think Randy Orton might be the most American American that's on SmackDown right now.
No, but no. Randy Orton. I don't know. SmackDown's just. I don't know. It's.
I kind of wish the Intercontinental title would go to SmackDown, so Miz can have it for another 12 years.
No, he's fine. He's not going to injure himself, so he can go back over to Raw and take it.
I know. It's just I want him to break the record now.
No, see, here's the problem with long title reigns in a company like WWE, is that WWE doesn't know how to book its character outside of winning the title.
It won't even need to be a long title reign. He'll break the record in like 10 days or some shit.
No, I was talking about Honky Tonks.
Oh, Honky Tonk's record. No, I feel like that's going to be a long-standing one.
No, not at all. I feel like as soon as WWE can, they're not even going to. As soon as WWE can book characters outside of winning a title, and they can have actual singles feuds that people care about, besides just like, hey, Rollins versus McIntyre is feuding right now. Let's just put the match on Raw for 15 minutes, and then have a shitty finish, and then have it at the pay-per-view afterwards.
I thought of who could fight Miz, Joe, and Brian. New Jack, Honky Tonk, and Iron Sheik.
No, we're not doing that.
Have you seen interviews with those three?
Nope.
It's fucking chaos, and I love it. I love those three dudes. Well, Honky Tonk is like the least because I haven't seen a lot from him, but I love New Jack and fucking Iron Sheik. They're amazing.
But no. So I think what's wrong with WWE is, to kind of wrap it up a bit. It's just WWE lacks a lot of logistical stuff that every other outside company could potentially do, and they do. And they lack characters. They lack any initiative for me to actually go and watch stuff. And they don't actually promote the stuff that people would actually enjoy watching, like 205 Live. Like 205 Live does characters well. Like Jack Gallagher, he's just a weird British guy, but he wrestles good, and he's a dick.
He's got an umbrella, so he's like Mary Poppins.
Because that's all people can connect to an umbrella with. But no. So as a wrap up, I just feel like WWE can fix a lot of its problems by just having Triple H
Do everything.
do everything.
And
And
then
just
have Shawn Michaels do everything too.
No, just have Vince run the XFL.
Honestly, I'm curious to see, because that comes back in like 2019 or 2020, like how WWE is when Vince is working with the XFL.
No, you know what? I'm going to be curious to see how if they do Vince just running the XFL by himself, if they can avoid any super major controversies in terms of like concussions and all the Colin Kaepernick shit. Because if they can just
they're already avoiding the Kaepernick shit. They already said like that's not gonna happen here.
Okay.
They're keeping not to say the Kaepernick is trouble, but Vince has said that they're keeping the trouble players away. So if you have like a record, you can't come, like a criminal record. Again, not saying Kaepernick has a criminal record. I'm not going to talk about someone I don't know that much. But
I feel like it's just going to turn into a second league of just like what WWE basically is at this point. It's just failed football stars. So
yeah. Oh my, damn.
Yeah, but it's going to be an entire league of them.
I just want to see more nicknames. And we need another He Hate Me. I love that.
Oh, but no, to be honest, WWE is just at the sour spot with me where just nothing's genuinely just. All of its entertainment comes from undercard people they won't actually allow to win the titles.
B-Team won the titles.
They did win the titles, but I feel like
they actually held it for a week.
Yeah, they're doing okay. They're doing okay.
I thought they were going to lose it to Authors of Pain immediately, but I guess not.
No, but the problem is they have 3 hours of Raw TV, but the fact that like the Revival and Titus Worldwide and Slater and Rhino,
they need 2 more tag titles.
Jesus Christ, no.
What if Slater and Rhino fought for the women's tag titles?
That's something that will actually happen.
It probably would. It'd be like Santina.
God, no.
Could you imagine Rhino in drag?
He already is in drag.
Oof. Rhino has been the best part of Raw Just him eating bologna sandwiches in the back has been my fucking favorite thing.
Cheese and crackers.
White people food.
No. I don't know.
They don't even season your food. Oh, Miz.
Yeah, no. I don't know. It's WWE has a lot of booking problems. It just keeps getting more and more encompassed the more I get entertained by independent wrestling.
That's why I don't watch independent wrestling, so my standards are low.
Yeah, but even you, with your very little internet independent experience, know that WWE has a terrible booking problem because you're in a drought too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also in a drought because we're always doing something while it's going on.
That too. That too.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've said all I can.
Me too. I think this is where we can wrap it up.
Totally.
Nicely. Nice little bow.
Miz is the best person ever. If he better win every single title. If not, I'll be sad.
All right. This was Media Frenzy's WrestleCast.
Sure. Why not?
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week where we'll talk about something to be determined.
Yes.